he went, he's this clown. Yeah, and I'm like, whoa. And this like kicked off, went everywhere. And he said, I don't respect Lennox. And everyone's like, oh, how can you not respect Lennox? He won 4 world titles. I was like, no, fuck the boxing. He was an amazing heavyweight. I don't respect him as a man. That's what AJ said.
But the point that he made, when he said, I want people who are younger than me to achieve, to succeed. He doesn't want to say that in me. I thought, I like what you're saying, because that makes sense.
But he does.
I can understand that.
There's a lot of people who achieve, like bitter people.
Yeah. Well, you're watching a kid walk in the walk that you walked, and you felt like you were the only guy who could do that.
He's so encouraging to young fighters. He trains up at the EIS with the amateurs. Mate, how he brings them on. Like every morning he'll have talks with them, like stuff like that. There are so many bitter people in life who are dying for people to fail. You know, like the ones that, where it's like, no, but you must get it. People looking at you thinking, how's that fucking geezer ended up cracking it and smashing it and making a load of dough?
Those were the words of Eddie Hearn in regards to Anthony Joshua's decision to call out Lennox Lewis and how he felt about Lennox Lewis personally. As you guys heard, that Anthony Joshua, we all know, he called Lennox Lewis a clown. Now, the question I want to ask you guys is, when Joshua called him a clown, because, Lennox Lewis attacked Joshua through the last year and a half during these failed negotiation attempts with Deontay Wilder, and how, he's only worried about the money or the business aspect, or he's avoiding the fight, or he wouldn't step up. We heard all of this. Now, in this interview, I want to talk to you guys. The question is, they were referring to guys that achieved what they achieved in the sport like Lennox Lewis did. And a lot of times, certain people are wishing the younger generation to fail. Okay. I remember Floyd Mayweather and Adrian Broner, when Adrian Broner was hot, when he was the new hot talking topic of boxing, and he had achieved 4 titles in 4 different weight classes. And Floyd said he thought he went too fast. That was considered criticism in a sense that, people looked at him hating. But, Floyd, he does have the tendency to hate every so often. The question is Lennox Lewis a person that preys on Anthony Joshua's downfall since he is the new generation? Because that was what the debate was about. Anthony Joshua was, well, hey, if I'm older, retired, I want the younger generation to do just as much as I've done. I'm not going to criticize them. I'm going to wish them the best. Whereas Lennox Lewis came off as, my problem with Lennox personally versus what Anthony Joshua's deal was. Anthony Joshua's deal was he talked all this shit about me. I'll talk shit about anyone, but if you don't talk shit about everyone, that's the problem. See, I feel that Lennox Lewis, and I'm listening and I'm observing Lennox Lewis's words and the things that he said. He always came at Anthony Joshua sideways, but then gave Deontay Wilder a pass. Because the one time I was waiting for Lennox Lewis to say, hey, I would have took the money, Deontay Wilder's wrong. I feel now a change of heart because now enough money has been brought to the table for Deontay Wilder to say, you know what? Okay, let's do it. Because with $100 million, people, or should I say $120 million, however you want to look at that, I was really focusing on the Joshua fights at hand, which is $100 million. If you had that type of money, $100 million, dude, do you understand that's Pacquiao Mayweather money? That's like up there in that bracket in one night. And you walk away from it, but then yet the guy that criticized Joshua for money or business, so to speak, did not do the same thing for Deontay Wilder. That's my problem with Lennox Lewis. It always has been. The only thing he said was, I would have took the money and nothing else. Not, I would have took the money, you wrong, you this, you that. Wow. Because if you look at Wilder, when he decided to pass on that deal to fight Joshua, you really then had to question, well, how serious were you about taking $15 million? You know what I mean? How serious were you about that? Because if you were willing months before, this was months before. This wasn't over a year's time later. It was the next year, but it was like 6 or 7 months after, right? He draws with Fury. You know what I mean? So you are too good for $100 million, but you was willing to take $15 million to get, so you claim, to get in the ring with Joshua. Now back to Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn was just stating how Anthony Joshua's changed in a sense, because I think now he's like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to say how I feel about certain people. And Lennox Lewis was on the top of the list, you know. So I don't know if Lennox Lewis was purposely trying to or prey on Anthony Joshua's downfall. I'm not really sure. Because, you know, of course, Anthony Joshua has lost the belts. He was beaten, defeated. And I really didn't see Lewis like happy. You know what I mean? I didn't see that. I didn't witness that. So I can't say that. But it is a debate, because something about negotiations and all this, that, and the other, he had a lot to say about one fighter and had nothing to say about the other. Very little to say about Wilder. You know, and I just thought that was weird, you know, especially if you're a guy that's supposed to be outside looking in, but we very well know that Lennox Lewis is a commentator for the PBC. And according to a lot of people, he's not a very good one. You know what I mean? So this was a very good podcast with Eddie Hearn. I'll leave the link below, let you guys check it out. But yeah, that is a very good question. Do you think Lennox Lewis preys on Joshua's downfall? You guys tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.